y'all. Welcome back to this week's episode of AMA Friday with Amy Miller, Recruiting in Yoga Pants. So this week we're going to talk through the two kinds of people who put X company in their intro. So we've probably all seen this or some variation of, you're scrolling through LinkedIn and you see Joe Smith, software engineer, ex-McKinsey, ex-Microsoft, ex-Google, ex-husband, whatever. Okay? All the X's. Listing all the X's. Maybe not ex-husband, but I've been tempted. But I won't. Okay. So in my not at all scientific and in no way backed up by data opinion, I have come to the conclusion that there are two kinds of people who leverage this in their tagline or introduction or what have you. The first is someone who actually worked at the company and did some cool stuff. And they're proud of that, right? They're proud of maybe their accomplishments. They're proud to be an alumni. They're using that as maybe a way to quickly and easily form a connection with other people on social media. I think that is absolutely fine. Absolutely okay. It makes no difference to me whatsoever as a recruiter because what I care about is what you did with that time. So I'm going to see it in your experience section anyway. I'm going to hone in on the actual accomplishments that you had during your tenure with whatever company. So if you want to put it in there and that is your reason, if it's just simply, hey, I'm really proud that I accomplished this and I'm going to brag about it online, good for you. Good for you. Don't let the haters convince you that it's not a good look because who gives a shit what they think? You earned that alumni status. You worked hard. You accomplished big things. Own it. Good for you, I say. Now, I'm not going to put that on my profile because I don't give a shit. Okay? I did some amazing stuff at Microsoft. I was there for 5.5 years. My favorite ex. I joke about that all the time. If I was going to list anybody, I'd list Microsoft. I was at Google too, but only for 18 months. I barely made it 1.5 years. I did some cool stuff there. Okay, I wasn't there very long. I did some pretty cool stuff. I met some amazing people, but it was also probably the most poorly matched opportunity I've ever been in. And that's not Google's fault. I don't think that's my fault. I think that I had a manager who we didn't necessarily see eye to eye on certain things. There were some aspects of being googly that, to be fair, I wasn't great at, right? So it's fine. I have no ill will. I don't think that I am rehireable, but I also don't know that it would be a place for me to go back to. I'd go back to Microsoft in a heartbeat for the right opportunity at the right time. Google, not so much. And again, that's not because either of us did anything wrong. It just wasn't the right fit at that time. Who knows? 10 years from now, it could be completely different. I don't know. So I'm not going to lead with that. I'm not going to put that in my tagline because those things are not important to me for what I'm personally on LinkedIn to do. What am I on LinkedIn to do? I've talked about this before, so I'll share that video. I'm pretty sure I did a video on this. I'll link to it up above. I'm there for two reasons. One, obviously to evangelize my current opportunities. I am actively hiring. I am recruiting people to come work with me at my current company. So I lead with that. My tagline actually says, I build the teams that build the satellites, because that's the business division that I work with. So that's what I care about. That's what I want you to know about me. Come work with me because we're building cool stuff. But I also say, I'm a truth teller and a myth buster when it comes to all things recruiting. I don't say exactly that. I worded it a little bit better. But I lead with that because that's what I want you to know about me. My presence is twofold. One is my day job. The other is the recruiting in yoga pants stuff. And, me trying to spread the good word about recruiting and hiring and how it all happens. You might be looking for similar roles or looking to make those connections with other alumni. You may have done cool stuff at Google or whatever, McKinsey, you name it. Doesn't matter what company. You can put whatever you want on there. And so if you're using it from that perspective, like, I'm proud of this work that I did, I want to leverage any, alumni connections, I want like-minded people to find my profile and be interested in learning more about me, then you should absolutely put it on your profile. There's nothing wrong with that. That's one kind of person. You do you. No shame in that game. Let's talk about the other kind of person. You ready for this? Because I'm about to get salty. So salty. There is a kind of person. I will not be taking any questions on this topic. Just kidding, I will. But there's a kind of person who uses it for clout. There's a kind of person, and maybe it's the kind of person who writes really shitty articles for like Forbes or CNBC or some of those other outlets, that uses their previous employment history as some kind of anchor to convince you, the reader and potential victim, customer, it's a Freudian slip, to indicate to you that they have some credibility or knowledge or status. Well, I'm an ex-Google recruiter, so therefore I know all the things about all the things. No, you don't. These people, these clout chasers, these dopamine farmers are a lot of what's wrong with social media. And it also makes the rest of us look really bad. So if you're just an innocent person wandering around LinkedIn, just trying to find your next job, and you decide to put ex-Google in your tagline, all of a sudden you're now lumped in with the scam artist because they have abused it and made it look bad. Okay? So let's take this another layer down, okay? And again, there's no statute of limitations here. If you are an ex-Google person, you will forever be a Zoogler. That's what we call them, Zoogler. Xoogler, Zoogler. That's what you call a former Googler. Fun fact, there's an entire recruiting team dedicated to re-recruiting Zooglers. Isn't that cool? They love boomerangs. Come back. Try again. Not me. They don't want me back, but maybe you. Anyway, fun fact for you. Okay, so there's no expiration date. It's not like, oh, it's been 10 years, I'm not a Zoogler anymore. But here's where it goes sideways for me. And I'm going to give you two specific examples. I'm not going to name names here because I'm not that kind of person. But believe me, I can see them in my head. One is the ex-Amazon recruiter who hasn't even actually been a recruiter for almost a decade, several years, more than a few, several years. This person pivoted to coaching, whatever, that's fine. Lots of recruiters do, no problem with that. But they leverage ex-Amazon constantly in all of the documentation, in all of the articles, in all of the bylines. This person spent, I shit you not, less than a year and a half at Amazon. So even in a 15-year career, I don't know how long this person was in recruiting prior to that. As I said, not since. But let's be generous and say, they spent 15 years in recruiting. You're looking at what? 10% of their career at Amazon, and they're an ex-Amazon recruiter, that's their claim to fame. That's disingenuous. That's manipulative. Second example, ex-Google recruiter. This person has had 7 jobs since then. They have been out of Google for a decade, maybe longer. 7 jobs since then. But Google's the one you're claiming? There's 6 other jobs you could be an ex of. Why not talk about those? Oh, because they don't have the street cred and the clout that you think Google gives you. Is that it? Of course, that's it. Do not insult my intelligence by pretending that's not exactly what you're doing. You two and a bunch of people like you. That, my friends, is what I have a problem with. I have zero issues with people being proud of their work history and their accomplishments. You should be. You busted your ass to pass that interview, to get that offer, to work in that role for 1, 2, 3, 5, 10 years, whatever. Good for you. You should be proud of those accomplishments. Where it goes sideways is when you start using it as, now some kind of social proof that people should listen to you and take you seriously. And you take that trust, you take that insight, you take that privilege, and you use it to manipulate people and put your hands in their pockets. You nasty. That's what you are if you're doing that. Trust me, I know none of the people I'm talking about watch this video. They don't give a shit about me. Okay? I disconnected with several last week. They didn't notice. I don't care. I care about job seekers. I care about what's ethical. I care about what's right, and I care about what's honest. Using your ex-company status as social proof to sell your bullshit is none of those things. Using ex-company status because you're proud of the work that you did, good for you. I'm proud of you too. All right, y'all. I hope that clears that up. Basically, bottom line, if you want to use it, use it. No shame. I promise you, we don't care. Recruiters generally don't think that much about it. There's some that get a little salty, but usually it's the ones that don't have it on their applications or bylines either. Just saying. So don't worry about those. You earned it. Be proud of it. That's all good. But if you are using it to manipulate people, just know my mama don't like you and she likes everyone. See you next week.